The difference is when you're in the hospital, you're on call like every third or fourth night.
Right.
And when you have a baby, you're on call like every night. So it's a little bit different.
Yeah. Not counting a short stint in Chicago for medical school, you've lived in Maryland your entire life. What is it about this state that you love?
I love Maryland because I think it's got a little bit of everything. You can go to the beach, you can go to the mountains. They're not like West Coast mountains, but they're mountains. So I love that. And I love that it's a relatively diverse place. There's rural areas, there's urban areas, there's lots of different people with different backgrounds who live there. And I think we see that in the people we take care of here.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm still here.
The short hours of sleep, the vast quantities of new information, the huge responsibilities. What did residency teach you about parenting?
I think one thing is you learn a little bit about how to still function relatively well when you're sleep deprived. I think there's pluses and minuses to us doing that to our residents. One thing is that I think I take, when my kid gets upset or yells or cries, she's having emotions, but it's not necessarily about me. Though you feel it might be on you, it probably isn't. It's something else going on in their life or something else that's happening.
What's some of your advice for clinician well-being?
So I think when you think about individual well-being, you need to think about, what your values are and how do you want to live your life and how you decide on what kind of job you want to have given those values.
Sure.
When you're a resident, you obviously have less control over that, but when you go out into practice, you have a lot more control over it and being willing to ask for things that balance your needs. So I need to leave at a certain time because I need to pick my kid up, or I need to work 4 days a week because I have an older parent I take care of. And I think increasingly people are starting to role model it and feel comfortable speaking up and saying, I work less than full time, or I took a leave of absence when I was handling depression, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Because ultimately you have to, we're in this for the long haul, and you have to be able to take care of yourself, because there's plenty of data that if we don't do that our patient care actually suffers. So it is obviously about us, but it's also about all the people we're taking care of.
Why do we need more primary care physicians?
So if you look at the research, there's actually research that the more primary care patients you have, primary care doctors you have in a zip code, the less care people use in the emergency room, the less often they get hospitalized. At the same time, there's also the relationship of the primary care doctor to their patients. I just saw patients this morning, and I have some people who have a lot of health issues, and I help them manage some of them. I help them navigate the health system, but they also tell me about the great-grandchildren they're going to be having, and they, and also losses in their life, and people really need that connection.
As part of that, you've made a commitment actually to attending many of your patients' funerals. Why is this an important thing for you?
It's kind of funny because doctors don't usually talk about this very much, but there's kind of this, every once in a while you mention it to each other. People are like, oh, that's really good you do that. Not everybody does that, because we still don't think about death as being okay a lot of times as doctors.
Right.
So, I go because for many of the patients, I've known them for years, and I go to their funeral because it's like I go to my neighbor's funeral or my friend's funeral. They were someone I knew.
Right.
And I go because I want to honor the life that they had and potentially be able to comfort their family members if I know them. But it's also a very profound experience as a physician to sort of honor the end of that life and have that time to reflect that we can't fix everything, we don't fix everything, people's lives end, and that's a natural part of one's lifespan, because I think it's easy to forget that in medicine when we're always trying to fix something.
Dr. Hanyok, thank you so much for your time. That was a CLOSLER Look.